It matters.
Good evening, Philippines, and good day, world. It's Friday, September 29, 2023, and you're watching Newsline World. I'm David Lira.
And I'm Frederico Velloso. We are here to bring you the top stories we've gathered from all over the world.
President Bongbong Marcos and his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron talk to French ministers visiting Manila, and the West Philippine Sea issue in a recent phone conversation between the two leaders.
Canada's Trudeau apologized after the parliament applauded a Ukrainian Nazi veteran.
In the United States, a looting spree rocked the city of Philadelphia with dozens of people arrested for stealing in a store and luxury items.
Pastor Apollo Quiboloy and SMNI Foundation received prestigious recognition at Asia's Humanitarian Hero Awards.
And let's find out some of the Team Philippines' achievements in the 19 Asian Games in Hangzhou City.
This and more for tonight's edition of Newsline World. In the news, the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, anticipates a positive economic growth in the Philippines. MJ Mondahar reports.
The International Monetary Fund delivered a positive forecast during their visit to the House of Representatives on Wednesday, September 27. According to the IMF representatives who met with Speaker Martin Romualdez, they anticipate a swift economic growth in the latter half of this year and the following year. The IMF team, led by Mission Chief Jay Perez, stated their expectation that the country's economy would catch up in the latter part of 2023. The Philippines recorded a 4.3% growth in gross domestic product in the second quarter of the year, resulting in a 5.3% GDP growth for the first half of 2023. Economic managers of the Marcos Jr. administration remain confident that the country will achieve its target of 6 to 7% GDP growth. The IMF team believes that the expected passage of the 2024 budget before the year end will contribute to the country's growth, along with laws and proposals that can attract foreign investors. The team mentioned that the enactment of the Foreign Investment Act, Retail Trade Liberalization Act, and Public Services Act could draw additional investments into the Philippines. The proposed amendments to the Build, Operate, Transfer Law, Public-Private Partnership Act, and the Fiscal Regime for the Mining Industry Act are also expected to be enticing for investors. According to the IMF, the proposed mining tax will help increase government funds while maintaining the country's competitiveness. The Philippines is the world's fifth most mineralized country, with an estimated 1 trillion worth of untapped minerals such as gold, nickel, zinc, copper, and silver. For Government of Philippines, MJ Mondahar, SMNI News.
President Bongbong Marcos Jr. and French President Emmanuel Macron held phone talks as French ministers are set to visit the Philippines. Both leaders also talk about the issue regarding the West Philippine Sea. Mike Oliveira will give us the details live. Mike?
David, good evening. As you have mentioned, a group of French ministers are scheduled to travel to the Philippines before the end of the year, and this was mentioned by Macron to Marcos during a phone conversation.
Marcos, on the other hand, told Macron that the visit of French ministers to the Philippines could pave the way for the discussion on the outcome of the 10th Philippine-French Joint Economic Commission meeting last June. The scheduled visit of French ministers is a part of the efforts to strengthen the bilateral ties and forge more cooperation between the Philippines and France. On the first part of their phone conversation, the two leaders tackled security issues in the West Philippine Sea. Marcos said that the Philippine government is exerting all efforts to maintain the peace, to maintain the stability, keep the shipping lanes open and airways open in West Philippine Sea. The Philippine president also thanked his French counterpart for supporting the Philippines in terms of shared values and in terms of following the international law, especially the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea. Marcos also lauded France for sending its vessels to help patrol the disputed waters. Marcos also cited the 75th anniversary celebration of the diplomatic relationship between the two countries and their meeting during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Economic Leaders Meeting in Bangkok, Thailand in 2022. He also mentioned that both nations will have a close diplomatic contract with French Ambassador to the Philippines, Mary Fontanelle.
David, President Marcos also invited Macron to visit the Philippines whenever he made a state visit to Asia. Back to you, David.
Thank you. That was Mike Dennis Oliveira, live on SMNI Studios.
A court in Japan recognized more victims of Minamata mercury poisoning and awards them with a compensation. Kyoko Hashimoto reports.
The District Court of Osaka recognized all 1,238 plaintiffs as patients of Minamata mercury poisoning and ordered the national government, the prefecture, and Kumamoto and Chiso Corporation to pay for compensation. The national government, the prefecture of Osaka, and Japanese companies, Kumamoto and Chiso Corporation, were ordered to give compensation by awarding 2.75 million yen, or $18,400 to each previously recognized victim who suffered Minamata disease. The plaintiffs filed a lawsuit demanding relief for the said disease caused by the mercury poisoning. The plaintiffs were reportedly in their 50s and 80s and were living in Kumamoto and nearby Kagoshima at the time of mercury poisoning. They later moved to Osaka and elsewhere in the western area of Japan. The plaintiffs filed a lawsuit in 2014 because they were excluded from the 2009 compensation and demanded 4.5 million yen or $30,170 each. Osaka Judge Yuki Tatsuno said the plaintiffs were presumed to have consumed fish tainted with mercury at high levels, and this is enough for them to develop the disease as children before moving away from the region. Minamata disease was first diagnosed in 1956. It was later linked to seafood consumption from Minamata Bay, Kyushu Island, Japan, where the chemical factory Chiso dumped mercury compounds. The incident is one of Japan's worst environmental disasters in the country's history. Over 38,000 individuals have received more than 2 million yen lump sum payments under the law. However, there are individuals who do not meet certain requirements to receive compensation, such as those who were born before November 1969. 以上、橋本京子日本から報告いたしました。SMNI News, Japan.
The U.S. soldiers who defected to North Korea is back under U.S. custody months after he ran across the border into the isolated country. Gabriel Gilas has the details.
23-year-old U.S. soldier Travis King landed earlier in Texas after North Korean authorities decided to expel him. King was one of the U.S. military's reconnaissance specialists, and he is now back in U.S. custody after illegally crossing the border of South Korea and North Korea. King fled from South Korea to North Korea in July because of the inhumane treatment and racism that he experienced inside the U.S. military. North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, decided to expel King in accordance with the laws of their country.
The United States has secured the return of Private Travis King from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Earlier today, he was transported to the border between North Korea and China, where he was met by our ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Nicholas Burns. He then boarded a State Department OpMed plane and flew from Dandong, China to Shenyang, China, and then on from Shenyang to Osan Air Force Base in South Korea, where he was transferred to the Department of Defense.
After U.S. officials responded to the Chinese border city of Dandong, King was immediately taken by a State Department aircraft to the U.S. Air Base in South Korea. Since North Korea and America do not have diplomatic relations, the Swedish embassy in Pyongyang negotiated on behalf of the U.S. But Miller said he does not see this incident as a sign of improvement between the United States and North Korea.
Number of occasions, they rejected our direct approaches and ended up talking to Sweden, and Sweden talked to us and helped negotiate this transfer. But I would not see this as the sign of some breakthrough. I think it's a one-off with them being willing to return this private.
Miller clarified that China did not mediate in the negotiations with King, although China provided the transportation upon moving the soldier out of North Korea.
They did not play a role as a mediator, but their role in providing transit or in facilitating transit is one we very much appreciate. We have always thought that China could play a useful role in any number of issues as it relates to North Korea.
King has been serving the army since January of 2021 and was sent to South Korea as a part of a unit rotation. Before illegally crossing North Korea, King served 2 months in detention in South Korea for attacking 2 individuals and kicking a police car. Reporting, this has been Gabriel Diaz, SMNI News.
Meanwhile, separatist leader from Nagorno-Karabakh said that this breakaway region will no longer exist next year, and this is because Azeri authorities plan to annex it in its entirety. The details with Jane Kodita.
Starting January 1, 2024, Nagorno-Karabakh will cease to exist, and this includes all state institutions and organizations under its departmental subordination by the said date. This was a decree issued by Samvel Shahramanyan, the president of the unrecognized Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh. The decree also says that the region's inhabitants, including those who have left, should familiarize themselves with the conditions of reintegration offered by the Republic of Azerbaijan and make an independent choice about whether they will stay or return to Nagorno-Karabakh. The dissolution takes place in connection with the current difficult military-political situation, and it aims to ensure the safety of the region's residents while taking into account the ceasefire agreement with Baku. Baku allows residents of Nagorno-Karabakh, including military personnel who lay down their arms, to travel freely. Nagorno-Karabakh is a region that has been long controlled by ethnic Armenians. It was officially recognized as part of Azerbaijan in December 2022, but concerns of a renewed conflict arose when Azerbaijan blocked a crucial access route to the enclave known as the Lachin Corridor, a key mountain road connecting Nagorno-Karabakh to Armenia. On September 20, Russia brokered a ceasefire that halted the hostilities. Azerbaijan and Karabakh authorities initiated discussions about the enclave's integration into Azerbaijan. Meanwhile, Ruben Vardanyan, an Armenian separatist leader, was recently arrested by Azerbaijani authorities. He tried to leave Nagorno-Karabakh for Armenia, just like thousands of other ethnic Armenians who fear that they will be persecuted by Azeri authorities. Vardanyan, who is also a billionaire businessman and politician, renounced his Russian citizenship last year, stating that it was his duty to move to the center of Armenianhood to invigorate its people and deflate the tensions with Azerbaijan. He was a minister in Nagorno-Karabakh until February. Vardanyan's wife has appealed for the support to ensure the safe release of the separatist leader. Reporting, this has been Jane Konita, SMNI News.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau apologized regarding the Parliament's recognition of a Ukrainian Nazi soldier during last week's address by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Speaker of the Parliament has also resigned from his post. Carlo de la Peña reports.
On behalf of the Canadian Parliament, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau apologized for the embarrassing celebration of a Ukrainian Nazi veteran, referring to last week's incident that saw the entire chamber applaud 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunka. The apology came in response to a question by opposition leader Pierre Poilievre on whether Trudeau would take personal responsibility and apologize on his behalf for what happened.
It was the personal responsibility of the Prime Minister to invite President Zelensky to the floor of this House of Commons. It was his personal responsibility to make sure it was a diplomatic success. It was his personal responsibility to continue to lead the government that has the security, intelligence, and diplomatic agencies that could have and should have vetted all individuals who were present and recognized. That's right. Yet this Prime Minister allowed for a monumental, unprecedented, and global shame to unfold in this chamber. Will he take personal responsibility for this shame and personally apologize on behalf of himself?
Right. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of all of us in this House, I would like to present unreserved apologies for what took place on Friday and to President Zelensky and the Ukrainian delegation for the position they were put in. For all of us who were present to have unknowingly recognized this individual was a terrible mistake and a violation of the memory of those who suffered grievously at the hands of the Nazi regime.
Trudeau also stated his sorries in a media briefing in Ottawa and recognized the diplomatic damage done to the visiting delegation of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
This was a mistake that has deeply embarrassed Parliament and Canada. All of us who were in this House on Friday regret deeply having stood and clapped, even though we did so unaware of the context. It was a horrendous violation of the memory of the millions of people who died in the Holocaust, and it was deeply, deeply painful for Jewish people. It also hurt Polish people, Roma people, 2S LGBTQI+ people, disabled people, racialized people, and the many millions who were targeted by the Nazi genocide. I also want to reiterate how deeply sorry Canada is for the situation this put President Zelensky and the Ukrainian delegation in.
The Canadian Prime Minister also accused Russia and its supporters of politicizing the issue by providing false propaganda about what Ukraine is fighting for. To recall, last week, following an address by Zelensky, Canadian Parliament Speaker Anthony Rota lauded veteran soldier Yaroslav Hunka as a Ukrainian-Canadian war hero who fought for Ukrainian independence against the Russian aggressors back then. That time, Hunka received 2 standing ovations. This incident caused international outrage after it was pointed out by various Jewish organizations and human rights groups, among others, that Hunka was actually a Nazi soldier who served in a military unit known as the 14th Waffen Grenadier Division of the SS, or the 1st Galician, a Nazi SS organization declared as a criminal organization by the International Military Tribunal in Nuremberg in 1946. Meanwhile, Rota publicly apologized shortly after the fallout and resigned from his post. Aside from Jewish groups, Poland and Russia were also outraged by the incident. Poland's Minister of Education has published a letter saying that he is taking steps to extradite Hunka. Russian ambassador to Canada, Oleg Stepanov, meanwhile said his country is reviewing the incident and that the Russian government may open a criminal case in a subsequent extradition request. He also said that Trudeau's apology is not enough and that Canada should find the courage to apologize directly to the Russian people. According to the envoy, there are more than 200,000 Canadians of Russian descent. It can be noted that Russia is part of the Allied forces that fought Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany and the Axis powers during the World War II. Stepanov claimed that Russia was the main force in defeating Nazi Germany during World War II and experienced devastating losses in order to win. Reporting, this has been Carlo de la Peña, SMNI News.
In the United States, the city of Philadelphia plunged into chaos as stores were looted and 52 individuals arrested following a protest and mayhem. Natalia Prado will tell us more about this live. Natalia?
That's right, Fred. Sources say a mob attacked store in Philadelphia after a protest against a judge's decision to overturn murder and other charges against a police officer who shot and killed a driver. Trouble hit Philadelphia hard on Tuesday night. Many people broke into stores and stole things, and the police arrested 52 of them. According to reports, some folks were angry because a judge let a police officer off the hook for shooting and killing a driver. The angry protest turned into people breaking into stores and stealing. Deja Meatball Blackwell, a social media influencer, live-streamed her own arrest after taking part in it.
Everybody must eat! Yes! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat!
Big stores like Foot Locker, Lululemon, and Apple were hit badly. People with masks and hoodies stole various items, and the police caught some of them. Other clips show authorities arresting looters outside stores. Liquor stores had problems too. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board closed all 48 stores in Philadelphia and one nearby in Cheltenham. This happened after 18 state-run liquor stores got broken into. Nobody who worked there got hurt, but the stores will stay closed until it's safe to open them again. And that's not all. Some cars got stolen in Northeast Philadelphia. The police said 7 cars went missing from a parking lot. They found one of them on Wednesday. Spokesperson for the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, Jane Raw, said that 30 people got in trouble for breaking and stealing. Interim Police Commissioner John Stamford said these people had nothing to do with the protests. He called them criminals taking advantage of the situation and that they attempted to destroy the city. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney thanked the police for their swift response and called the incident a sickening display of opportunistic criminal activity. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you. That's Natalia Prado live on SMNI Studios. Sweden has surpassed the United States as the world's second most innovative economy for this year. Kirby Hill, Trinidad has the story.
The 2023 Global Innovation Index saw Sweden steal the title from the United States as the second most innovative economy among more than 130 countries assessed worldwide. Meanwhile, Switzerland retained the #1 spot for this year, followed by Sweden, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Singapore for the top 5. While Europe hosts the greatest number of innovation leaders, China, on the other hand, emerged as the top country in East Asia with the greatest number of science and technology clusters. China also ranked as the world's 12th most innovative economy for 2023. The survey assessed the progress made by countries against a background of slow economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, high interest rates, and geopolitical conflict. This has been Kirby Trinidad, SMNI News.
More news when Newsline World returns.
Oo, ikaw. Alam mo ba na you can win lots of prizes when you bring home a guest in the Philippines? The Department of Tourism brings you the Visita Be My Guest program. Joining is easy. 1. Sign up as a sponsor. You can do this via the official BBMG website. All Filipinos of legal age living in the Philippines or abroad can join. 2. Invite your guests. The more you invite, the more chances of winning. And 3. Travel to the Philippines and upload your proof of travel to complete the registration process and earn e-raffle tickets and the BBMG travel passport and privilege card that you can use to get discounts as you travel around our award-winning destinations in the Philippines. Join now and get a chance to win in any of the 3 raffle dates in 2023. So what are you waiting for? Come home and begin.
Back in the news, in Burkina Faso, thousands of people took their streets to support the government. This is after a thwarted coup attempt against their president. Andrea Santo has the details.
Thousands of pro-junta demonstrators took to the streets of the capital Ouagadougou and elsewhere to show their support to the ruling military. People were chanting the name of Burkina Faso's president Ibrahim Traoré for thwarting the attempted coup. Burkina Faso's military government declared on Wednesday that they stopped a coup attempt on September 26, 2023, and they made this announcement on national TV. The government revealed that they prevented the coup with the help of security and intelligence services. The official statement from the government also said that they had arrested some of the people involved in the coup attempt and they are actively searching for others. The government accused those involved of wanting to harm the country's institutions and cause chaos. In the past year, Burkina Faso has seen political problem. Last September, Captain Ibrahim Traoré led a group to take over the government, marking the second coup in 8 months. This happened because many people were upset about the government's failure to stop a violent insurgency. There's been tension in the capital city, Ouagadougou. Thousands of people protested to support Captain Ibrahim Traoré following social media rumors of another coup. This protest came after the government suspended a French news magazine called Jeune Afrique for publishing articles that they called untrue. These articles talked about problems in Burkina Faso's armed forces. Reporting, this is Andrea Santos, SMNI News.
Australian officials seized more than $4.2 million in dangerous drugs as part of a month-long operation targeting alleged drug syndicates in Queensland. Sasha Hassa reports.
Detectives from Logan Major and Organized Crime Squad have stopped 5 people with 34 offenses over the alleged supply and distribution of illicit drugs in the Logan area, a city in southeast Queensland, Australia. Police have spent the past 9 months investigating an alleged meth syndicate in central Queensland by raiding multiple rural properties as part of Operation Victor Extort. Last week, local detectives charged 48 people with 196 offenses and seized more than $52,000 worth of drugs in Queensland's Central Highlands region. On Wednesday, Australian officials seized dangerous drugs with an estimated value of $4.2 million. A day after executing search warrants, a 28-year-old man to meet a person to supply methamphetamine was surprised to have unknowingly transacted with local detectives, which led to his arrest. Government and community organizations claim that the use of illegal drugs in Australia created an illegal market estimated to be worth 6.7 billion Australian dollars every year, as drug addiction becomes rampant among teenagers and adults. Reporting from Sydney, this has been Sasha Hassa, SMNI News, Australia.
Meanwhile, Kuwait signed 7 memorandums of understanding with China related to major construction projects. Melchizedek Cadiz has the details.
Assalamu alaikum. Kuwaiti Crown Prince Sheikh Mishal Al Hamad Al Jaber Al Sabah's recent visit to China resulted in the signing of several key agreements. Sheikh Mishal received Xi's invitation to visit China to attend the opening ceremony of the 19th Asian Games. The Crown Prince revealed that they have been preparing for the visit since Xi made the invitation during the Chinese Gulf Summit in Saudi Arabia in December of last year. The 7 agreements signed by the 2 leaders include the completion of the Mubarak Al Abdullah Port project and the development of advanced housing cities in Kuwait as part of the government's plans to offer housing care for citizens. Both sides also signed agreements for projects including renewable energy, the creation of a low-carbon cycling green system, water treatment station infrastructure, as well as the creation of economic and free zones. According to Sheikh Mishal, the meeting serves as an important investment as both countries plan to work on developing Kuwait based on the first basics of the Kuwait 2035 vision. During the visit, Xi hailed Kuwait as the first Gulf country to establish a relation with Beijing in 1971. The Chinese president revealed that Kuwait Fund was instrumental in providing loans to China in the 1980s. Barakallahu fikum jami'an, kan hada Melchizedek Cadiz sa akhbar SMNI Kuwait.
Dubai has approved new transformational project that aim to make the so-called City of Gold 10 years ahead of other global cities. Gratero Omori tell us more.
His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai, has signed a new series of new projects as part of the Dubai 10 Times initiative, launched in 2017. The ultimate goal of the initiative is to put Dubai 10 years ahead of other global cities through collaborative and future-facing projects. The Crown Prince signed new transformational projects across key sectors, which cover expediting transportation within the city, enhancing travel experience at Dubai's airports, and establishing a robust healthcare system, to name a few. The third phase of the Dubai 10 Times initiative focuses on proactively creating a fundamental shift in the mindset of government sector employees by inspiring them to create innovative and unconventional projects on a global scale and embrace new opportunities. More than 120 government employees hailing from 33 different Dubai government entities collaborated to submit 79 project ideas that cover a wide range of sectors such as transportation, aviation, space, energy, sustainability, infrastructure, trade, finance, health, security, civil defense, community service, among others. The initiative has fortified Dubai's position as a global hub for innovative government mindsets and business models since its launch. Reporting from Dubai, this has been Gratero Omori, SMNI News, United Arab Emirates.
The Prime Minister of Thailand pledged to donate all his monthly salaries and allowances to various foundations across the country. Chatmongon Pisamagozan has the details.
Thai Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin promised not to receive his pay every month, but instead use the money to help others who are in need. Sethar's combined monthly income as Prime Minister and Finance Minister is totaled at 125,590 baht. A spokesman for the Prime Minister said he plans to donate the funds to foundations to assist those in need. The spokesman pointed out that this approach is quicker than relying solely on the regular legislative system in the parliament. A working team will be assigned to select the foundations that will receive the Prime Minister's donations, starting with the Foundation for Children as the first beneficiary. Besides donating his salary, the Prime Minister also plans to meet various charity foundations to give listen to their problems and look for solutions. รายงานจากกรุงเทพมหานคร นายชัดมงคล วิสมัยโกศล SMNI News ประเทศไทย สวัสดีครับ
The China Arab States Forum and Development has kicked off in Shanghai, China, with an aim to elaborate efforts in promoting high-quality cooperation under China's Belt and Road Initiative. Anisha de Guzman reports.
Political figures, experts, and scholars from China and 17 Arab states attended the China Arab States Forum and Development in Shanghai. 2023 marks the 10th anniversary of the launch of the BRI. Over the past 10 years, Belt and Road cooperation between China and Arab states has yielded fruitful outcomes. China has signed BRI cooperation documents with 21 Arab states and the League of Arab States and remains the largest trading partner of Arab states. In the first half of 2023, trade between China and Arab states hit $199.852 billion. In 2022, trade between China and Arab states reached $431.442 billion, up over 30% year on year. China imported 271 million tons of crude oil from Arab states, accounting for more than half of its total crude oil imports in the same period.
中方愿同阿方践行首届中阿峰会利雅得宣言精神，探索符合中阿各自国情的现代化之路，维护多边主义，坚持合作共赢，反对搞意识形态对抗，不走地缘博弈和你输我赢的老路，倡导和谐共存，不助小院高墙， 坚持共同安全，为“一带一路”建设营造和平稳定的环境。
Arab representatives who attended the forum expressed their appreciation to the BRI. According to them, the initiative is an important international public cooperation platform, will give a booster for Arab states to realize development by leaps and bounds. They also said Arab states are ready to work with China to continue to advance high-quality Belt and Road cooperation and make all-out efforts to build an Arab-China community with a shared future in the new era.
We have to learn from the Chinese experience because the Arab world, most Arab countries are now going through a transformation, economic transformation. They want to diversify away from oil products. They want to have different economies, and we need more productive societies. Looking at the Chinese experience gives us a great deal of information.
The Belt and Road brings this kind of investment that is needed. Qatar not perhaps as much, but it has a strategic location and it's neighbor to other strategic countries that have a strategic location. The Belt and Road initiative is not limited to the land, it's also maritime, so there will be more commerce. It's the digital space, the communication, and also the health.
The forum was held in 2018, 2019, and 2022, providing an effective platform for China and Arab states to strengthen exchanges of governance experience.
Di siya na Nisa de Guzman Rangan siya kontemplahan po ng SMNI News Protetay sa Wadika.
And for our sports news, Filipino wushu martial artist Arnel Mandal wins the first silver medal of the Philippines in the 19th Asian Games in Hangzhou. Meanwhile, Gilas Philippine men's team triumphs over Thailand. The details with Alisa Tohes.
The Philippines now have its very first silver medal in the 19th Asian Games held in Hangzhou, China. It was Arnel Mandal who brought silver in his match against China's Jiang Haidong in the wushu men's stand-up 56kg category. Haidong won gold in the said event. Mandal's silver elevated the Philippines' rankings in the Asian Games. Meanwhile, the national wushu team also brought medals for the Philippines. Gideon Padua won bronze in the men's 60kg category after the Wushu Federation Philippines decided to forfeit its semi-final match against Shoha Panahigalay Kulai of Iran. Clemente Tabagara Jr. also won the bronze medal in the semi-finals match of the men's 65kg category. For basketball, the Gilas Pilipinas men's team won for the second consecutive time at the Asian Games after winning against Thailand with a score of 87-72. While the start of the match ended in favor of Thailand with a score of 20-22, Gilas was able to recover in the second match and triumph over Thailand in the third quarter. Big man Jasin Brownlee and Junmar Fajardo lead the team's win with 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 16 points. Gilas will fight Jordan in the preliminary round of Group C on Saturday, September 30. Meanwhile, Alex Iyala concluded her Asian Games debut with a bronze medal for the Philippines in the women's tennis singles. Iyala's match with Zheng Qinwen of China ended with a score of 1-6, 7-5, and tiebreaker points 3-6. Iyala's win is the Philippines' 5th bronze medal in the 19th Asian Games. Reporting, this has been Alisa Torres, SMNI News.
Pastor Paulo C. Quiboloy never stopped helping others through his humanitarian organization, not only here in the Philippines but across the globe. Because of this, the good pastor received another accolade on Thursday night. Jason Frederico reports.
As a philanthropist, it is natural for Pastor Paulo C. Quiboloy to help other people, especially the needy. This is why the Good Pastor's humanitarian efforts were again recognized at Asia's Humanitarian Hero Awards. Pastor Paulo C. Quiboloy is known not only as a spiritual leader, environmentalist, and nation builder. The Good Pastor is also known as a philanthropist, as he established various organizations that are at the forefront of helping our countrymen in times of need. Pastor Paulo's humanitarian organizations include SMNI Foundation Incorporated, Children's Joy Foundation, Sunshine Philippines Movement, and Unifil. It is through these organizations that Pastor Apollo shows his great love for others by helping them regardless of their religion, race, or state of life. No matter the distance or how difficult the situation is, it never stopped Pastor Apollo and the volunteers of the said organizations from helping people in need. Because of this, Pastor Apollo was recognized at Asia's Humanitarian Hero Awards as Lifetime Achiever and Most Active Humanitarian Advocate of the Year, held at the Vivere Hotel and Resort Film Fest in Alabang this Thursday night.
Tonight we awarded SMNI Foundation and also Pastor Apollo Quiboloy for his social work and for helping people in different ways, in different projects, using the members and the leaders of the SMNI. I congratulate all the awardees, especially those that come from SMNI. Thank you so much for loving the poor, for becoming a blessing to all these people who are waiting to be noticed and who don't have resources so that they will be heard in their needs. Thank you so much. It's really a noble act. Really praising God for all of this.
In addition, the SMNI Foundation Incorporated was also awarded as the Most Trusted Humanitarian Foundation of the Year. The SMNI Foundation Incorporated immediately responds and delivers assistance to our countrymen who are victims of disasters and calamities such as typhoons, floods, and earthquakes. SMNI Foundation has provided thousands of relief items containing sacks of rice, canned goods, condiments, drinking water, and other basic necessities to disaster-hit areas across the country.
Once again, congratulations Pastor Apollo Quiboloy sa isa na naman pong parangal na iginawad po sa inyo ng Asia's Humanitarian Hero Awards 2023 bilang Lifetime Achiever and Most Active Humanitarian Advocate of the Year. Hindi po may kakaila, Pastor, na likas po sa inyo ang pagtulong, hindi lamang po sa inyong mga nasasakupan, maging sa ating mga kababayan, those who are in need, Pastor, especially in times of calamity na tumatama po sa ating bansa through your humanitarian organization, Pastor. At isa na nga po dito ang SMNI Foundation na inyo pong pinamumunuan, Pastor. At maraming salamat din po dahil kayo po ang aming ehemplo para maging isang mabuting mamamayan ng ating lipunan. Once again, congratulations, Pastor Apollo Quiboloy at sa SMNI Foundation.
2023 has yet to end, but Pastor Apollo Quiboloy and SMNI News Foundation continue to reap honors and accolades from various award-giving bodies. For God and my beloved Philippines, I am Jason Rubrico, SMNI News.
And before we end, may you be inspired with the message of the appointed Son of God. Goodness and suffering is not weakness, it is my strength.
And for our Christmas countdown is 87 days to go before Christmas. And that's all for today's edition of Newsline World. For more news update, you may visit SMNINewsChannel.com or follow us on our official social media accounts on Rumble and Facebook and Twitter. For God and Country, I'm Deivid Lira.
For God and Country, I'm Frederico Velloso. Thank you for watching Newsline World. And thank you to our beloved pastor, Pastor Apollo Quiboloy, for the great opportunity to be part of this program.
May you continue to listen to our SMNI as it's delivered nothing but fair, truthful, and balanced news, because SMNI is your source of credible news.